What's good, my brother?
What's good, Brody? I
How's
see
it going, man?
you're just on the West Coast. You feel
I
me?
know, man. I was on your side. Now I'm back in Houston. Your second city before. So
Hey, shout out to all my Houston homies. You feel me? I love Houston. I love it. I miss it. All that.
for sure, yeah, you got to come out. You got to come out and visit me, man, for sure. But yeah, bro. Hey, thanks for your time here on this episode. Really want to get to really want to have this episode to get more of your journey. You've been doing a lot of dope projects, especially with the HBCU movement. And all the work that you've been doing. And I know, like for you, like you very low key, and you're very low key. But I think it's pretty cool to like have this conversation just to understand, especially in a time like this, understand all the work that is happening right now. So I guess like without further ado, we can kick it off. The first thing, just really want to understand like all the work that you're doing with the CP3 LLC. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's CP3 LLC, correct? That's
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So project manager for CP3 LLC. Like, can you like tell me a little bit about that? Like your journey. I know you do a lot of work behind the scenes, and I think it's pretty cool to even see the exposure and all the work and experience that you have right now.
Yeah. So for me, it started back in 2017. When I graduated from A&T, my job right after college was an internship at the CP3 Basketball Academy in Winston-Salem, and pretty much working in the marketing department, and pretty much help building campaigns, trying to get clients, and just trying to keep the memberships coming and elevating and things like that. And then Chris had called me. It was crazy because I remember this day was yesterday, like it was yesterday. I was in my aunt's driveway and I just got off work, and Chris had called me, right? And Chris called me and was like, yo, I want you to come work for me. You know what I mean? I want you to come move to Houston. This is like right when the trade happened, right when the Houston trade happened. He was like, yo, I want you to come to Houston with me. I want you to come work. I'm going to let you know what you got to do, and things like that. But for me, like, even though we family, I took it as an opportunity. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like him being in the position that he's in, giving me opportunity, I feel like he's seen something in me that I hadn't seen in myself yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how that started. And then it was just, he pretty much let me do what I do. Like, one thing about our team is like, we're very, very team oriented. You know what I mean? Everybody plays a big part in it. Especially Chris, like he's super hands-on in everything that we got going on. So when it comes to like the HBC project that everybody see nowadays, it was actually our whole family went to HBCUs. I graduated from A&T. I got a lot of cousins that graduated from A&T as well. Then being from Winston-Salem and Charlotte and stuff like that, you got Winston State. We had a lot of family members there. So Chris was like, yo, I think it's important for us to bring more awareness to these HBCUs, because that's pretty much where it all started, especially for us being African American and things like that. At one point in time, that was the only place we could go get an education. You know what I mean? So Chris seen something in that, and that's where it started.
Nice. So, like, how was that? Like, from you, and I know you and your sister both went to A&T, and so the importance of HBCUs in your family is like, the support is there. So, like, how was that like for you, like making a decision out of college? And I know Chris went to Wake Forest, and you have other family members that went to Winston, all these different HBCUs. Like, how was that support system going up there?
It was cool. Like, how was it? How important was it to work on HBC projects with somebody like Chris to bring awareness to it? I mean, it was cool just because, bro. Like, going to HBCU, like, like we get so overlooked, bro.
I
So
know.
there's so much potential in HBCUs. Like the students, like just look at our group of friends, right? Like we got you, Marcus in the tech industry. We got other people's. We got John, like working at Nike. We got so many different people in the different industries that graduated from HBCUs. But I feel like we don't get the knowledge in like we don't get the awareness that we should, just because we didn't go to the Dukes, we didn't go to the Carolinas and things like that. So I think it was super dope that Chris saw a niche and saw that, you know what I mean? And to use his platform to help elevate that, I think it was super dope. And for me to be hands-on and work on it and really understand the culture and really understand the importance of it, I think it's super dope. I think it's probably like my favorite thing right now about working because I mean I'm HBCU till I die, bro.
For sure, man. You know how that go. Hey, I'm glad we're getting the exposure that we honestly deserve, man. Like when you think about like all of the work that our community we've been doing for years, and like we finally getting that like shine, that support, that awareness, and like it's helping us in different ways. Like you mentioned, John, Nike, Microsoft, all these different companies that finally seeing the importance of HBCUs. And we're in an important time of change. And I know we talked about this before, like we're the next generation leaders to like really make sure that the people behind us even have it better than what we have now, because it's getting better like every year. And we have a long way to go, but it's still a lot of progress. You touched on like the project, like how was that from like, did you receive any like pushback or anything from like that campaign, or everything was just like support all down the line, like having an HBCU campaign?
Not everything was so supportive, but one thing I've realized doing this, I mean, we got the HBCU sneaker tour going on right now, which
Yeah.
you see during the playoffs. So Chris wear a different HBCU every single game, and bro, it's been nothing but love. Like my phone, my emails, all it's been going crazy, and it's crazy because it's like going to a HBCU and going to homecomings. You see how everybody just come together, but
Yeah.
like now, like, bro, I'd have met so many people like via IG, via Twitter and stuff like that went to other HBCUs that's just trying to chop it up. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
love. You know what I mean? Like it's love, and I think it's still more that we can do. And it's not going to stop at the sneaker tour. We also got a class at A&T, a sports and entertainment class that we launched last semester, I believe, with Harvard Business School. And then so we got that, and just trying to continue to show the world like HBCUs are still alive. It's still potential there. It's still like people that we need in this world to make a change. They still go to HBCUs. You know what I mean? So I think it's just dope to be able to be a part, and also to do it with my family. That's the dopest thing. You know what I mean? To do it with my family, to do it with the team that we have, and to go to a HBCU, going to it and graduated there. I think that's the dopest thing ever.
Exactly, man. Like even when you think about one thing we also talk about too is like relationships, right? Like all like understanding the HBCU family, especially like going to A&T, like even you and I, like we connected off a project, like the panel we did, the next, like something we just came work with Jordan Green, all three of us like worked together and just come up with that panel. And speaking into relationships, like after you graduated from college, like what are your thoughts like as far as like the importance of relationships? Because I know your experience is that, like the relationships, you was able to like do a lot of different things. And even from the project that we also working behind the scenes on, like how just, being able to set up that call and being able to work to have the right contacts to be able to have the right programs that we would like to put out there.
Bro, like I tell everybody, relationships are the key to life. You know what I mean? Like I pride myself on relationships. I think it's super important to be genuine. You know what I mean? Build those genuine, healthy relationships, just because you just never know where those relationships can take you. You know what I mean? And like they say, first impression is everything. Like, so it's always being prepared when you enter a room. I don't care what room it is. You just never know. Like, you just never know. And I think relationships play a big key to life because it's about who you know, not what you know. You know, so like for me, I had the opportunity in college to intern at Rock Nation. That was through relationships. You know what I mean? Like people to this day hit me and they be like, "Oh, I seen you interned at Rock Nation and all this and that. How you do it?" Honestly, I don't know. I just know I had the relationships to do it. You know what I mean? And I think relationships take you further than anything. But also, I think relationships show a lot about your character and who you are. You know what I mean? And I think that because people not going to give you people won't give you an opportunity or won't continue to build a relationship with you if you're not genuine, if you're not honest, if you're not like all these things. So like it goes back to who you are as a person and your character. And I just feel like if you're, if you're honest and trustworthy and all these other attributes, positive attributes, I feel like it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? And as you know me, like if somebody be like, yo, can you help me with this? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Especially like you close, I'm here to help. You know what I mean? You know that.
For
So,
sure, always, bro. And like, I appreciate that about you. Just off the strength of like, just like building organic relationships. Two-way streets where you always, we always look out for each other. And like, I think that's what ultimately like relationships is always about. And pure intentions. That's a big thing. And speaking of relationships, I wonder like when we think about everything that's going on right now in a time where the Black community is like really important for us to come together. I think it will be interesting to see how like what all comes out of this year of 2020 when we think about some of the virtual events we was talking about before and how we can figure out how can we collaborate young professionals, young tech, all these different things, especially within the HBCU community. I think that can be powerful once we figure out that connection to bring us all together.
yeah, I think so too, bro. I think, bro, like 2020 has been crazy, as we all know. It's been super crazy. But I was talking to somebody earlier today about it. Like, it's been a growing moment as well. You know what I mean? It's been a lot of growth in 2020. And I think for me, it showed me, like with 2020 and the pandemic and all that, it showed me to live in the moment. You know, and I think that's a big thing that we all got to start doing. We got to start living in the moment. You know what I mean, and cherishing the times that we have right now. Especially like what just happened to a legend that just passed away and nobody knew. You know what I mean? We didn't know he had cancer. You know what I mean? But he still shot all these films with cancer that showed like his drive and his grind and things like that. So living in the moment is big, and that's one thing I learned from 2020 is living in the moment, bro.
Yeah, same here. That's one thing that I even got to do a better job at too. Like balancing that family time, like also while working hard and still trying to like make your mark, your legacy, but really just being present and understanding what's in front of you is like really important. One thing that I do want to ask you about, like when we think about all the work, like the awareness we talk about, supporting HBCUs. One thing I really do like about is the Black Lives Matter movement as well. That a lot of the NBA is doing a really good job at it. Tech companies is doing really good as well. I know, as far as like a diversity inclusion perspective, I see from a corporate tech, being a tech professional, I see all the work that it's doing there to try to get more diverse candidates, but it's a long way to go. And to speak into that, like, what are your thoughts about like, you see all the different movements from, that's going on in different directions. Like, how do you think we should like move forward from that perspective, our own individual platforms?
Yeah, for me, I love what the NBA doing. You know what I mean? I love what they're doing. Also, um, I don't think it's like all their job to do everything. That's what we got a president for. You know what I mean? But that's that. But my thing is, I think if we all just come together, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I think it'll help. I think the biggest thing right now that I realize is, and I get it, everybody has different views, everybody has different ideas. So we see like this person doing that person doing that person doing that. That's what's making it so difficult. You know what I mean? But if we
Mm-hmm.
all just come together and try to do something as a whole, you know what I mean, and make a stand as a whole instead of everybody trying to do their own thing, I think that'd be more impactful. I love what the NBA is doing. Like they boycotted and things like that, and then they just released that potentially there will be polls in the arenas around the NBA arenas around the world and things like that. I think that's super dope. And the thing about it is, for me, I like to see action. You know what I mean? Like it's cool. Like we see change. Like now we got Black Lives Matter on the NBA floor. You know what I mean? We have um, different NBA players wearing different slogans on their jerseys. Like that's the big thing. Like we keep bringing awareness. You know what I mean? And they also like now with the polls, possibly being in like the other NBA arenas, that's taking action. You know what I mean? So I feel like if we continue to see action taken, you know what I mean, I think it could be impactful. And even from like people like us, you know what I mean? Like we also have platforms, you know what I mean? We also gotta educate ourselves. You know what I mean? Like I'm 26 years old. I still got a lot more to learn about voting and just my history and things like that. And I think that's the biggest key. It always goes back to education and just learning as much as you can. You know what I mean? So I think that's the big thing.
Yeah, I agree, especially with the voting part too. Like, like we since we have the momentum, we have the right momentum. You're right. Like, and we all doing different things and trying to get us to come together, and whatever way we're using our platforms. But I do think, like to your point, like the education part is like very pivotal to like understanding, like from a state level, from every vote matters, like at every level. From even we mentioned education, from an educational system, like we have to make sure that the Black community is getting the right resources. It's a lot of different things that we can do, and it's pretty cool to see how all of us are playing our part. I do. One more last thing I do want to ask you here, like, what do you think, from right now, like where we at and all the work that has been done, like, what advice per se would you give to like, just anyone on like where we at right now, versus, all of anything you can do as far as like, how we should continue to push the needle further?
I think first and foremost, continue to educate yourself. You know what I mean? Whether that's educating yourself on voting, whether educating yourself on the history, educating yourself on like the different governments, like from the Senate and below and things like that. I think that's where it starts. Is education and being knowledgeable about what's going on right now. Because it's crazy. I feel like I learn something new every single day about what's going on in the world, like about different laws, about like it's crazy how like Trump trying to do the whole the postal thing, like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, I feel like it all goes down to education. Like that would be my advice to anybody. Like, never be too old to continue learning. Like, I don't care how old you are, it's always gonna be somewhere where you can learn. You know what I mean? So, and right now, being a Black man in this world, it's important to be educated. You know what I mean? It's to be educated. We gotta know our rights. We gotta know all this stuff. You know what I mean? And it's a lot to handle. It's a lot to take in. And trust me, I don't even know it all, and I still have a hard time doing it. But I think if we continue to push ourselves and push others and hold each other accountable, you know what I mean? I think we can really get somewhere. And I mean, we are getting somewhere, but I think it can definitely make a big change, and the change that we want.
For sure. I agree. But yeah, man, hey, this is, always good. Always a pleasure talking to you. I do want to, commend you for like all the work you're doing with the campaign again, like that. All everything you're doing, man, is like super inspiring, motivating. Continue to keep doing great things in the community, especially from, just being an A&T alum, a colleague, like a friend, like it's inspiring. I have one quick question that came to my mind, like from you doing that I want to circle back to the project discussion. From you doing that project, do you think other NBA players will follow to continue to like support HBCUs or
That's tough. I think some might. We got two HBCU graduates that play in the league right now. Paolo Quinn, that plays for the Sixers, and Covington, that plays for the Rockets. He went to Tennessee State. Cal went to Norfolk State. I think so. I mean, just by the love that we've been getting, I think a lot of guys are happy about what we're doing and excited about what we're doing. I think some guys may not know how to do it. You know what I mean? It might be, I don't think they know how to do it, but It's to each his own. You know what I mean? Like everybody got their own thing. Everybody got their own brand, own thing. You know what I mean? Anybody that's watching this, you know what I mean? If you need help, hey, ask. Like we got you. We got because our team, we got Courtney Mays, we got Sad, we got Carmen, we got like CJ, all them. Like we make sure we do our research. We make sure we do what we need to do to continue to help bringing this awareness around HBCUs. And another thing I'll say that we're doing, the sneakers that Chris will be wearing, we're actually gonna do like a sweepstakes, you know what I mean? And have all the proceeds go to the men's and women's basketball team of that school. You know what I mean? I don't know if a lot of people know, but one big thing about HBCUs is funding. You know what I mean? So funding is hard and has been tough throughout the years of HBCU culture and things like that. As you can see, like the facilities that our athletes be in, like, you know, some may not even have practice jerseys and stuff like that. So I think anything that we can do, and then even from like an alum standpoint, like it's important to give back to your school. You know what I mean? Whether it's $1, whether it's $10, whether it's 100, whatever it is, something helps. You know what I mean?
Especially since we're not, you know, going back to GHO. Like I feel like the money that we always going to spend in GHO, we can find a way to give back for sure.
Bro, and you know, I didn't even think about that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even think about how much money GHO about to miss out on, because I'm sure we all know GHO be making a killing.
Yeah, they make a lot of money in the whole city.
Money, you know what I mean? And I didn't even think about that. Not even having GHO and not having homecomings. That's another hit that HBCUs are taking. You know what I mean? So it's about how do we pivot and make adjustment to cover. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure. Well, all right, my brother. This was good. Good talking to you. I don't hold too much of your time, man, but appreciate the talk here. Like, you know, just being on this episode. I'm glad to be able to, you know, be sharing. I know we were supposed to connect in LA earlier this year. But hey, that was our last time partying. That was our last time.
we got a link up coming up soon, bro. I'm coming to Houston one of these weeks, bro. One of these weeks. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna link for real.
I appreciate you having me, bro. I feel like everybody gonna be seeing this, so my low key vibe has went out the window. You know what I mean? I appreciate you having me though, bro. This is dope.